Hey everybody, it's Natalie here with Sacred Mountain Yoga, and I'm so excited. We are gearing up for the first ever Steel Mace Vinyasa Level 1 seminar happening this October 2nd to 4th here at the BlissOm studio. Today I'm here to talk to you about what is Steel Mace Vinyasa and why is it important. So I have been a Steel Mace Vinyasa head coach for the past few years, but I have used this system over and over the past decade to rebuild my body from chronic aches and pains, existing injuries, pregnancy issues, post-pregnancy, weight loss, strength training, getting mobility back into my body, and it's one of the cornerstones of my personal health and my lifestyle practices, and this is how I train my clients and my students. So Steel Mace Vinyasa is very unique because it is a blend of functional movement, biomechanics, strength training, takes elements from yoga and martial arts and circular strength training, designed in this package or this system called Prime, Condition, and Flow. Prime is where we are using mobility drills and we're hydrating and getting as much oxygen and blood flow through the joints of your body as a warm-up. And usually this section of a Steel Mace Vinyasa class is about 15 to 20 minutes. We have 4 different prime drills. For an example, wrist movements up and down. So when we're wielding such a tool like a mace or a club, we want to mobilize the wrists. We have things like elbow circles, getting prepared to extend the load and hold it through our body. We have things like shoulder screws, okay? These are really big motions that we do, usually around 6 to 8 reps of each of these exercises before. Chest expansion, things that you would know, lunges, other ways that we prime the joints for our conditioning drills. Okay, so priming is essential. It's how we stay mobile and how we prepare the body for the different exercises with load. Okay, so that's unique to this system. The second part of our practice is the condition portion. So through conditioning exercises, we have sport-specific drills, okay? So in the Steel Mace Vinyasa world, we call them buckets, all right? So for an example of a closed hip drill, so these are things that will train your hips, your glutes, your core, your lats. We have ballistic squat switches. Okay, we're getting the whole body involved. We're using ground force from the ground up. We have things like lunges, either uppercut lunges or yogi lunges. This is again in the closed hip bucket. Both of my hip bones are facing forward, and I'm training specifically for my glutes, my core, my lats, and my postural muscles, as well as the ability to move forward and back in space in a lot of cases. Another exercise bucket we have is open hip conditioning, single leg balance, core work, hamstring flexibility, and arm endurance. So during your conditioning round, we typically superset. Let's say our arm conditioning is our mace switches. Now I'm using a very heavy mace for this. You can use anything that you see here. This is a 5, this is a 7. I'm using a 10 for this. But we superset our exercises so that we're hitting 2 of our primary focus and 2 of our secondary focus. And this allows us to fully train in those ranges of motions. Typically in a Steel Mace Vinyasa class, we're working with a 90-30 protocol with 2 rounds. So that's 90 seconds of work, 30 seconds of rest, where we are working at bringing our heart rate up to a certain level and then relaxing it down, right? So we're training that cadence, and that really helps us build our strength and mobility at once, and it also is very challenging for the mind and body. And this practice, I would say, is very uniquely designed that really does develop a strong mind and body connection. It's very helpful for people who have ADHD or different sort of neurodivergent patterns that they feel scattered or they can't focus, because when you're holding a leverage tool and you're going through these exercises, you can't help but be in the present moment. Otherwise, danger. So it really does pull you in to a different mind state when you're training that is unique to the system. The third component of Steel Mace Vinyasa is flow. So this is where we're taking our mace and we're moving through classical yoga asana with load and then without load. So an example of this would be into a warrior one position with overhead. We have classical positions like pyramid pose. This is a slight variation of it where we're loading the front hamstring. We can get into single leg balance from here. And we're trying to bring I can go into open hip if it was trained in. I can add my loops, but I'm adding load into my yoga to complete it as a system. Yoga on its own is not a complete system, especially if you are 35 and up, okay? So we need something different. We need more strength and mobility the older we get because we are losing muscle mass just by remaining still. Just by not doing, you're actually getting weaker. I truly do love this form. I think it has changed my life in so many ways and the lives of my clients. I had clients that are as young as 18 rehabbing from rugby injuries, coming in with so much pain that they can't sit or stand and they can't focus on their work, to being able to 2 years later now fully functioning, training for endurance, training to get back into sports, lifting heavy weights, to my latest client who is so sweet. She was 78 when she hired me and her goal was to get back into tennis and to get up and down from the floor with ease. And now she's back into her sports. She's happy. She's able to do her life. And you know, we introduced the Steel Mace at 79. So you're never too young, you're never too old. You want to start developing something that you can carry with you for the rest of your life. If you want to go deeper and talk about private coaching, you can email me, info@smyoga.ca. If you're interested in attending a deep dive and going right into practice with the Level 1 seminar coming up this October, all the relevant links are below and I'm happy to help and I hope to see you there. Namaste.